Hello, my name is Chris Anderson. I'm the executive director for Open Tone Music. I want to talk a little bit about our project from this past summer, 21. And this was our Amistad Caribbean Arts Camp. It's a 3-week camp for students, primarily grades 7 through 12. Most of them are in 7th and 8th grade. And these students are focusing on music, art, and culture of the African diaspora from West Africa into the Americas. And we were very fortunate this past summer. We had students from the Americas, from the United States, including California, Ohio, Texas, Michigan, Pennsylvania. And we also had students from other countries, including Bolivia, Brazil, and Trinidad. So it was great to see those students working together from all of these different parts of the diaspora, talking about the African cultural heritage from West Africa. And one of the things that we've noticed with these students, because we're focusing on this art, history, and culture, is that they are definitely getting a stronger sense of identity through these studies, which is helping them with their self-esteem, helping them to be able to better respect themselves and better respect their communities. So one of the things that was interesting that we just started with See Common Ground that didn't exist before was the virtual component. Previously, all of our instruction had taken place in person throughout Northeast Ohio. And we've noticed a couple of things with switching to virtual. One being the need for more content as opposed to the teaching. But one of the other things that we've noticed is that I just mentioned is we're able to reach more students. So we have more content, able to reach more students, essentially having a broader impact than we were before. Definitely something we're going to be leading into. And we've also noticed that some of these older students, you have habits that are built in by the time the student gets 7th, 8th grade or high school. So now we're looking at putting together programming that starts in kindergarten. So not only will we be working with K through 8 students, not only the younger students, but also working with local and national, international educators that can implement this program, implement our curriculum in the classroom during the daytime. And then they would have the supplemental materials during our virtual classes in the after school.
What we've done has been successful to the point that we set out to do. But yeah, we certainly we would love to expand what we're doing to other grade levels and certainly expand our reach through this virtual model, just beyond even the few international students we've reached and the other states we're fortunate enough to work with.
One of the things that we've noticed with having students from multiple countries, different mother tongues, speaking different languages, is kind of how we deliver our content, our virtual content in particular. Matt has begun putting together programming that can easily be adjusted regardless of the language.
We set out this summer to create a series of pedagogical videos for common band instruments, at least in beginning wind ensembles. And we designed the videos without let me take a step back. We brought in experts, professionals on each instrument that you would encounter in a typical band scenario, rather than the typical model you might see on the internet where the musician speaks to you and walks you through what they're doing, describing hand positions and breathing techniques, things like that. Everyone remained silent and just showed what they were doing with their hands. And we had an expert team of professional videographers working to catch every little angle. So we did multiple takes, multiple cameras. The idea being that the way that we're showing the pedagogy with the cameras is going to do 80-90% of the teaching. And we can supplement that then with slides that come in when necessary and graphics that can be translated from the original English to any language that we would see a need to translate them to. So it's going to be a very, very adaptable model going forward now that we've laid the groundwork for this. And we also hope to expand that library just from a series of a few dozen videos to, hopefully tens or hundreds eventually.
What's cool about that is we have not only students that speak multiple languages, but educators also. So, I mean, this summer, I don't think I mentioned we had an educator from Colombia, Cuba, Puerto Rico. So some different languages have Ghana was one of the teachers was from there. So a lot of different languages, and just trying to figure out the best way to put all of this together that makes sense. When you're talking about whole child action accelerator and mental health, music, movement, academics, that sort of thing, these are oftentimes looked at as separate, and even to the point where the in-school experience is oftentimes looked at as separate from the out of school experience. So really looking to be able to intentionally combine the two. Part of that is going to be through these virtual components that we're discussing now, and then also this application through our partnership with Cultural Resources, an app that can be used on any device. But starting small and trying to bridge that gap between what happens in the classroom, what happens in the classroom, kind of intentionally trying to head towards the idea of the entire community becoming the institution, as opposed to just being limited to four walls. I mentioned this a little bit before, like the fact that you have all of these different organizations that share their various experiences and what they're doing, what's working, what are they having challenges with. It in some ways confirms some of the things that we may have been thinking about, but then also gives us new ideas to think about. And as we're thinking about these new ideas, why not follow the lead of someone who's already kind of taken the hard road, so to speak. So it's been super helpful going through and listening to some of the webinars. It's been helpful for us as an organization to be able to kind of see into the future, so to speak, because some of these organizations are doing things that we've talked about, that we've had an intention to do, but just haven't gotten off the ground yet. So to be able to see how those work and to hear from the leadership on how they were able to get it to work is a cool thing. Thank you for the work that you're doing. I think that this is important work, and it supports important work. The important work that you're doing, it supports important work. So it's a good thing, and thanks for allowing us to be a part of this network.